What's going on, world? We are here to discuss this Sunday's Smackdown pay-per-view, WWE Hell in a Cell. I am C. Moody here, always with
D. Moody,
and we are Sports Moods. Two Moodies,
one duty,
sports. With no further ado, we are Sports Moods, and we're here to give our recap and our review of WWE Hell in a Cell, the Smackdown exclusive pay-per-view this past Sunday. And we kick it off. Well, before we actually get into it, I mean, there was a match before the match. I didn't watch it. I'm going to just sit here and be honest with you.
I didn't either.
Okay, so I mean, we don't really have much to say, but from watching Wrestle Talk TV yesterday, I do know that it was a tag match between, I think they're calling it American Beta now. Really? I hope that's not the official name and just something that Wrestle Talk
really?
that they're using.
One of many today.
One of many indeed, but they played the Hype Bros. Apparently they're showing more separation that's in the looks of Hype Bros because they're not even matching anymore. But of course, Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable won. And that was it. That's what that is. So I'm gonna just because
Alpha,
I don't like
Beta?
that tag team. So
Alpha Beta.
I'm hoping that
American Beta.
Yeah,
You said.
I'm hoping that's
Alpha Beta.
I'm hoping that's just what Wrestle Talk TV said because, like I said, I didn't even see the kickoff. So I hope they're really not calling it American Beta. But it sounds like they would do that. So
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
if they did.
So now that we just got that out of the way, we're going to get into the first and probably the best match for me for this pay-per-view, which was the Tag Team Championship match between the New Day, specifically Xavier Woods and Big E, versus the Usos for the Tag Team Championship. And one thing I noticed when the New Day came in, or was it the Usos? One of the two, one of them proclaimed that this ends tonight, that their feud, which I hope it, honestly, watching this, I hope it doesn't end now.
But I mean, not to cut you off,
no,
but
go ahead.
What more can they do beyond this match?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, this should have been the end-all, be-all for this feud. But, I mean, there's really no tag teams on SmackDown Live other than American Beta, or whatever they call themselves. The Hype Bros, and, you know, they look like they're going to break up pretty soon. So it's like,
because they need tag teams.
There's just no tag team division right now on SmackDown Live.
Yeah, definitely. And for the record, this was the first ever tag team match to be actually inside of the cell. So they once again made history between these two, and I love watching these two fight. And they Wrestle Talk TV, which I watch on YouTube, they said something that made a whole lot of sense, that these teams made a great way to make this look as destructive and chaotic as it was without us having the Attitude Era's blood and all that spilling over.
Because you notice there was really no bloodshed or...
Yeah.
Because, you know, back in the 90s,
one chair to the head.
One chair shot was just, oh my God, he's busted open.
Jim
Ross would go crazy. So, and you see all the blood, and it takes away from the match. Now, every now and again, I like to see blood, you know, just to show the intensity of it. But it's more of, we saw a lot of different things happen without all that extra dramatic stuff.
Yeah. I was about to say, you want to get into any highlights you took down for this match?
I mean, I took down a lot of notes. There's a lot of good stuff in this match that I saw. But to me, I thought Xavier Woods did really well in the match, but I would have preferred to see Kofi in over Xavier, because Kofi's more like the more athletic, the more high flyer, the risk taker type person. But Xavier Woods really blew me away in the match. He did some really good things in the match. But I thought going in, Xavier would be the one
outside
on the outside. But then how they brought Francesca 2.0 or 3.0 into it, I guess it made sense. But also too, just the kendo sticks. That's like one of my favorite hardcore weapons.
Yeah.
Back to the days of Steve Blackman, Sabu, and ECW. Like, I just love kendo sticks. But the colorful one is what got me. It was like
they had
New Day's own personalized kendo stick. So
they had like 50 altogether.
Yeah, it was a lot of them used in the match. I think we as we said, the 2 trombones came into play.
Yeah.
Saw a cowbell.
Yeah,
it was just like
they just had random stuff.
It was
just
symbol.
like
yeah. It's an ultimate hardcore Hell in a Cell match for sure. One of the things I liked from the Usos was how, I don't know if it was Jimmy or Jay, but how he splashed outside of the ring and splashed on top of like Xavier Woods up against the cell.
Yeah.
So that was pretty. I mean, because you think about it, flying out of that ring like that in the cell, there's not a lot of landing room there, so a lot can go wrong when you're flying that high with that little bit of space to jump on top of somebody. What else did I see? Also, the chair launch. Did you see that?
He
just threw the chair at him instead of like hitting him with the chair. I was like, did he just fling that chair across the ring?
Through the chair.
Literally, that's more dangerous, I think, than actually
hitting
somebody with a chair. Because again, a lot can go
any
wrong. Any angle, like how you said the other week with Shane McMahon with the chair leg, like hitting him in the face or whatever. So a lot of unexpected things can happen when you got an object flying that fast at that rate of speed going up towards somebody's face like that. So, what's some of the stuff you got? Because I don't want to go down my list. We probably have some of the same stuff down. Okay. So I'll give you a chance to kind of say some of the stuff you thought.
No, I like. I agree with you. I like how they use weapons, and they almost immediately was like, "We're gonna just."
Because it was funny how it started. And they were like, and all of them just jump on the ring. And
they had that stare down, like, "You want to go hardcore? You want to go hardcore?" Like they said it without saying it, and I thought that was great. Like you said, just because of the fact of doing all their stuff, that flying in and out of the ring. When Big E did that spear to one of the Usos straight into, like, it's a lot of times I saw Big E's head go directly into the cage. So I was just like, that was just showed that how the intensity of this match and how they really wanted to put everything on the line in this match. And I always feel like, when the pay-per-view comes up, it's way more electric than just the regular weekly things, even though their weekly performances are good between these two. And with the trombones, Francesca too, and the remade Francesca, I noticed the little things, and maybe I'm overlooking, but I know that Xavier Woods is like a real like gamer, Comic Con going and stuff. I noticed his first trombone was like a green. Was it like a green?
It's like
and purple?
A green looking greenish color.
And I didn't think about it until I saw the second one. The second one was like a gold and burgundy, and I thought that he designed those two after the Hulk and Iron Man.
Could be.
And so I was like, that was, to me, I was like, that was a good plug for him and his whole fantasy. Him watching stuff, because I'm a Marvel fan too. But I thought that was a real good thing, and I like when the Usos went on this little melee after Xavier went through the cowbell, the symbol, then the Usos just went kendo after kendo after kendo back on them. So another major thing, and I'm sure you have this up here too, when the Big E did his little Uranagi thing.
Oh yeah, the backbreaker. I had that written down.
And it just ran straight into Xavier Woods' backbreaker.
That was crazy for me, because that could have, he had to be in the right place at the right time. Like literally, as soon as, was it Jay that he did that to?
Probably. I'm not sure. They look too much alike.
Yeah, even though they have different haircuts now, but I still.
Once it goes fast enough, I can't tell the difference.
And then so he did like the Uranagi or the rock. I wrote that looked kind of like a rock bottom.
That's what I call it too.
Yeah, I wrote that. Kind of went down, and then Woods came under with the knees. I was just like, ah.
Yeah.
And the way he was screaming after it happened, like that literally hurt.
Right. Even Xavier grabbing his knee, and I thought that, he was just recovering from an injury.
Yeah, so that could have been kind of devastating for him because then Jimmy or Jay, either one of them, he was just like,
yeah.
That looked like it literally hurt.
It was really bad.
Yes. What else did I have? I'm going to tell you. Big E took some lethal super kicks in this match.
Ooh.
Every time you turn around, it was sounding off like from every angle. He probably took 7 in the match total. I'm like, his chin is got to be realigned after that match. After all those super kicks he took. What else did I write down for it? I like the idea of how New Day kind of locked up Jimmy Uso on the cage corner with the kendo sticks. Yeah. And Isaiah always say this is going to be the, what is it called? The Usos penitentiary. Yeah. And they kind of lock him up against his will, and they're just kind of just.
And I like how he kind of hung his mouth open when they got to his face, so it made it really look like he was against, trapped. Yeah,
like I can't do anything.
So I really like that.
I like the idea. They got really creative with it. And then I had down when the Usos, they kind of returned the favor with the handcuff, kind of handcuffing Woods to the post.
Oh my gosh, and hung him up.
Yeah.
And that looked really painful. Like, I felt like Xavier Woods really wanted to break character in that part.
And then Kofi's watching this on the outside. Like there's nothing he could do. And I actually thought he would find his way in.
I did too.
To help him, but I guess they said they wanted to just let it go as it was going.
Yeah.
But then it got to a weird part in the match. I don't know if you saw it. Woods was still handcuffed, but as they were hitting him with the kendo stick,
he started hyping up.
Like, it don't phase me no more.
That.
Like, I'm used to the pain now. He started getting stronger, like he was hulking out or something. So
I like that.
I did like that part of it.
That was a good point. And I like before that, Big E did the same thing. Mm-hmm. They started going, and Big E finally snapped. And I like he started running them into the cages. Once again, him going head first and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I thought that was good. And I know before this, they I put this up here. They did an electric chair. Mm-hmm. How they had him, and then the other Uso did the suicide dive on him through the cage, and his head went to the fences. Mm-hmm. Through the cage as well. But of course, it's a whole bunch of kickouts. It was a bunch of great kickouts.
Then you saw the double frog splash, and then he kicked out of that.
Yeah, I like how even when Xavier was hurt, he still came out with the handcuffs and kind of just used his body to push him off.
Yeah, it was headbutting him too. He was, still fighting off two people while you're handcuffed. So he headbutt both of them and was kicking and everything. But
I thought that was good.
That was still pretty good to show that, hey. So a lot of times we take New Day as like the people that's going to make us laugh, the gyrating and the dancing and stuff, but they really show like, hey, if it comes down to business, we need to get hardcore.
Right.
Hey, all the fun and games aside, we can fight if we need to.
Definitely did that.
But they really went to the Uso. This is a really good match. I felt going in we would get a great match from them. I mean, they always really give us a great match when they go head to head.
Yeah.
But it's just as of now, like we did know the Usos did win it.
With the double splash.
We have the double splash, and now they're the 5-time tag champions. In their careers. But now it's like, where do we go from here? Do we continue to push this rivalry, or do we who's the next tag team that's going to step up and face Jimmy and Jay, because there's really none out there.
It's going to be American Beta.
I hope not. Because again,
it's going to be.
I just want Gable to be on his own.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I think he just needs to be a singles.
But then they wouldn't have any use for Shelton, because they're not going to push him.
Let him be singles.
They're not going to push him. There's too many people. Like even right now with the United States, they have Baron, Ty, and AJ, and unless they are going to move AJ up now,
that's what they should do. But my thing is the whole deal with the whole Baron Corbin thing, and I don't want to get too far away from this.
Yeah,
but I think even though I really liked him with the Money in the Bank, Because right now I really think he should still be the person shadowing Mahal for it. Or possibly make it seem like, hey, Nakamura has gender beat, and this would have been a perfect opportunity tonight where he could have cashed in.
Yeah.
Kind of like how he won the title tonight. Later in the night, right. He could have just threw Nakamura out the ring after the Kinshasa or whatever, and then pin Mahal and steal the belt that way.
Yeah.
But because right now I don't really see Benjamin and Gable really doing. I don't have a lot of excitement for their tag team.
They're going to push them.
They're going to push them just because that's all they have.
Yeah.
But at this point, I just feel like they need to be competing. Like I would want to see Gable and Styles go at it. Gable and Dillinger, Benjamin and Rude, or Rude and Benjamin. Or I just said that just.
Yeah, you did.
I just went backwards with it.
You made a feud.
I said Rude. I meant to say Rude and Gable, or Zayn and Gable, or you got more opportunities out there to have singles, good one-on-one singles matches, or Dolph Ziggler and Chad Gable.
Yeah.
You got opportunities out there, even though there's not a lot of championships to go around for everybody. But I mean,
you need to make that 3-way championship.
Do something or push Styles back up on the top level.
Yeah. So I'm just telling you, I can already, for what I can foresee, because if the Hype Bros don't break up, they're going to go heel from the looks of how they're pushing it. So they got either one or two options. If they go heel, they're going to feud with the New Day, and then Usos are going to feud with the American Beta, because that still gives two protagonist antagonist tag team feuds to go with, and that gives you two, because technically the Hype Bros and the American Beta, which I'm still not comfortable saying, they're really just a thrown away card. But if you push New Day on the Hype Bros and then Usos on American Beta, then you're making them more relevant, and you're then it makes it look like it's expanding the tag division.
I I like the old fashioned file stick, but
right,
they're still a tag team. Use them.
I think so too. But I think they really, honestly, I feel like the Fashion Files thing was the only thing just stopping them from total obscurity.
True.
So I honestly, I don't feel like Vince would have pushed them any further, because they're still a gimmick. And if they were just in the ring, they would just be the in-ring gimmick with being put at the very back burner. They would have been on the kickoff show.
True.
It would have been a triple tag team match. So I'm glad that they're right there, and until they actually do something effective with them in ring, I kind of just like where they're at right now.
Okay. So. But overall, this, I agree with you. This was the best match on the show. They really took it to another level.
I really didn't. Even though I expected this to be the best match and I was excited about it, I still didn't anticipate everything that happened that went on tonight. And did Kofi ever have a singles Hell in a Cell match ever before? I think he did. I'm not sure.
I have to go back
because I felt like maybe that could have been why that they gave it to Apollo Crews. That maybe not Apollo Crews. His real
Where
name
did
is
he come from?
I don't know. Because I had just recently watched Raw, and I think his real name is Apollo Creed, but yeah, Xavier Woods, I think that's his first time doing that kind of match. And even when they came into the ring, you kind of noticed he really had a childish sense of amazement in his face when he got to the ring. For him, I think if anybody, it looked the biggest to Xavier Woods. Outside of the character position of his role, it looked like he was a fan getting to have his chance to go inside the Hell in a Cell. So I think that's what it meant a lot more to him.
But the only thing I have against this paper, I know you can't have but so many Hell in a Cell matches because they take up a lot of time. But this was the 20th anniversary for the Hell in a Cell match.
Oh, wow.
The 20th anniversary. The very first Hell in a Cell match was in 1997 at the pay-per-view called Bad Blood. Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker.
I did.
And that's when we first saw Kane, when he came out and pretty much helped Shawn Michaels win that match. But just over the years, for this to be the 20th anniversary of Hell in a Cell, it was just kind of this was a good idea with the Usos and the New Day. But I feel like there could have been at least possibly one more Hell in a Cell match for the night. Maybe 3 at the most. Maybe, but there's really no other feud out there that could have been in a Hell in a Cell. Because, Nakamura and Mahal can't even put on a regular good singles match. So why put them inside the Hell in a Cell? But I just felt like it should have been, for this to be the 20th anniversary of a Hell in a Cell, it should have been at least 3 Hell in a Cell matches. Yeah. Because when the Raw exclusive pay-per-view had Hell in a Cell last year, every championship was defended in the Hell in a Cell match last year.
Really?
Yeah, because you had Rusev versus Roman Reigns for the United States title. You had Kevin Owens versus Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship.
They're going to come out with a
then we saw
storyline to make him his brother now.
Yeah. Then we saw Sasha and Charlotte in the first ever Hell in a Cell match.
That's right.
So all those matches were inside of that structure.
Yeah.
So I just kind of felt like it should have been at least one more match there.
Yeah,
inside of it. But as far as the tag match, I was pleased with it. I had no complaints about it. I loved the creativity of it and all the weapons and everything that was used, all the high risk stuff, and it was just a great match to watch.
Yeah, once again, my favorite parts was, like you said, trapping Jay with the in the corner with the kendo sticks, and then seemingly hanging while handcuffing Xavier Woods to the corner and beating him horribly. Mm-hmm. It was really bad. So do you feel like, I don't know, I felt like it was a sense of maybe the Usos are going to take a break. Not the Usos, the New Day is going to take a break right now. I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll find out for sure Smackdown this week. But I just felt like it was some kind of ominous sense. I do believe that the feud is over. Just how they kind of stood at each other, looking at each other in the ring, at least for now. But, do you think that they're going to take a break or they're just going to move on to something different?
It's kind of hard to tell because the way the state of the tag team division is right now in SmackDown Live, they can't afford it. They kind of need New Day to stay because there's really nothing else going on around it. So, but you can't continue to do this every pay-per-view with Usos New Day. So you got to throw another team there in the mix. And then maybe they need to try to do like a deep scrub of NXT possibly and maybe try to pull a tag team up from NXT.
NXT has a lot of tag team.
Yeah, they do. You might can pull up a team up from there and maybe try to get some momentum going around this tag team division because right now the state of the tag team division as a whole in the WWE, even Monday Night Raw, is still not, it's not relevant anymore. Especially...
Well... I'll get into that.
It's really not. We'll talk more about that on Raw, but I just feel like right now the tag titles won't be defended at the next pay-per-view. You already have the Universal title that's not going to be defended, or the Intercontinental Championship. Your 3 major championships on Monday Night Raw will not be defended because all those people are in one match. But that's for tomorrow. I'll leave that there.
Wow.
But overall, it was a great match.
It was a good match.
So if you want to move on,
let's go to the next match, which it was just a dramatic drop between the two for me, and that was between Rusev and Randy Orton, which I actually was kind of high on this match. It was, to me, I guess I'll just get into it. For most of the match, Rusev was just dominant. And then, of course, Randy would have his spurts of him trying to do a move, and then Rusev would take over again. Back and forth in that same kind of style until Randy Orton finally kind of got some momentum. But what I did like was how Rusev tried to play the whole Randy building up the crowd and then doing the whole turnaround to fall on the ground, and once he got close enough to him, he grabbed him and then tried to turn it to the accolade. I thought that was a great plug in the match.
I thought that was going to be the way he wanted.
Yeah, that would have been actually a great way
for him to win. But my thing with, it really wasn't a great match to me. The way they built Rusev up, he should have won this match. Because my thing is, what does Randy Orton have to gain by winning this? Since Rusev has come back, he has just been loss after loss after loss. It's just like, why? What has Rusev done to deserve this treatment?
I mean,
I'm not a big Rusev person, but I'm a big enough wrestling fan to know, okay, when is this guy gonna get his push?
Right.
And it's like with the whole thing with Cena, the flag match, and then now the thing with Orton.
The flag
I mean, it's just like, why, like Rusev, is he just somebody, just a mid-carder that we just throw in and just have him just lose matches? I mean, focusing on the match, I just felt like it went longer than SummerSlam, so that was good. Didn't want to see another quick match like that.
Yeah, I thought that was going to happen too.
I anticipate they could come back out and do the same exact thing they did the last time. But Rusev continues to lose since his return. He's been buried since he's been back. Like, they've broken him up from Lana for him to be on his own.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
And so and we look at what Lana's doing. And we look at what he's doing. It's like, why even break them up at this point? You should have just kept them together. Yeah. I mean, and at this point, like, if you're going to make him stand alone, give him something meaningful to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, have him pin a Randy Orton. He has not had a win over a big quality opponent in a while.
Well, here's an idea. And I know this was the reason for him starting to have a fall a while ago, and maybe this could be the same situation. But like right at the end of the whole Lana Rusev, right before they split up or whatever, Rusev cut his hair.
Mm-hmm, he did.
And from Wrestle Talk TV, it was like Vince didn't like it because when Vince has you as a character, he needs you to stay in the full character mode. And so apparently Vince didn't know that Rusev changed his hair, and he felt like that was going to be a real damper on the whole Bulgarian brute.
With the long hair. I mean, I still look at him.
Yeah, he still looks like a threat, but I think, just Vince being
Vince.
Yeah, so I feel like that they have stifled him since that situation. And then I know they had another situation where, they were trying to do the whole Lana going with either Enzo before it was Dolph Ziggler. Mm-hmm. And then they started showing their marriage on Instagram, and I heard that was another thing, that because off the breaking character of the storyline that they were using. So they immediately dropped that storyline once it didn't once they did that. So that could be just a continuation of, him taking that. And so, but I'm doing this.
I agree.
The bad move, not only for that, but because being reminded that they really had a flag match. To me,
I kind of understood the idea of the flag match.
I get it.
It's in July.
Yeah.
It's the 4th of July, the Independence Day. Battleground was the pay-per-view, even though that was probably the worst pay-per-view of the year for SmackDown. And it's a flag match. It's a battle to who gets your flag and you win. I get the concept of the match.
Right.
But it was just thrown together.
Yeah.
But my thing is they're just burying Rusev, and I don't understand why. This match really didn't do anything for me.
Definitely.
I mean, Randy Orton wins, yay.
Yeah, I was about to say.
What does it do for Orton? What does he do next?
If you haven't realized, Randy Orton gets out of the accolade and hits an RKO. And
that was the only good spot of the match.
Yep. That was it.
And I was like, when I saw it, and I was just like, that was RKO.
It's done. It's over now. But I don't know, man, because I don't think they're going to push him back. Especially now with the whole with the gender going to India to be a part of the India live shows. Of course, he's not going to lose. He's not losing his title until next year. That's just how I feel. I
believe he'll keep it in through the rest of the year.
Yeah.
If Nakamura can't do it, I don't know who can. But
yeah, but that's for another time. So this pretty much ends with Randy Orton beating Rusev in a decent low quality match with just a good spot at the end.
The crowd was so dead.
It really was. And that's why I didn't like the placement, because the crowd was pretty much uneventful through that match. And in my mind, I wanted to get the crowd hyped. I was like,
because they were so hyped for the Usos and New Day, and then you floated this match, and it's just like,
yeah, it's like there's no weapons.
Oh, it's Rusev,
huh?
It's Randy,
right? There's no weapons though. There's no cell. They're just in the ring.
I thought maybe have Aiden English come out and help Rusev.
Yeah.
Win or some kind of distraction, or because he's been a part of the intertwined.
Rusev Day.
Yeah. Something. Have him just randomly come out singing or something to distract Randy Orton.
Right.
Or something, something to get us like intrigued into the match. It was really nothing going on here with this.
So, the next match, if you want to go into it.
Yeah, the next match they had was for the United States title match. Was that the next one after that?
Yep.
We found out before the show that Ty Dillinger went to talk to Daniel Bryan and kind of convinced him into making it a triple threat match, which I called, by the way.
You did.
And he was just kind of telling him, hey, I pinned Baron Corbin, but Baron Corbin gets the United States title match over me. So I think, hey, I should be in this match. And then Dan Bryan thinks about it for a minute, and he makes it a triple threat. And then Ty Dillinger does this little...
Did you see?
The perfect 10. Like, he's like, what is that? He's like, that's the perfect 10. It's kind of like when you do... Yes.
And then they go
and
back
then
and
go
forth.
back and forth.
10, yeah. 10.
I miss Dan Bryan
I do.
so much, man. Like, he just takes it to the street. He's like,
he really does.
he's just like, I mean, Dan Bryan is so good for the WWE. I just wish he could really get back into the ring because I miss his personality, everything about him. And he, even to this day, he still gets one of the best pops from the crowd that you ever want to hear.
Definitely does.
Even as a commissioner, as the GM, he still gets that.
Yeah.
So, Ty Dillinger is now inserted into the match, the triple threat match, and they interviewed AJ Styles about it. And, he wasn't really too thrilled about it, but he said he understood by, Daniel Bryan did what he did. He was just saying, hey, I don't even have to get pinned to lose this match. But, anytime there's more than one person in a match, of course, that's going to be the case. And Baron Corbin also was interviewed saying, now I only have a 33% chance of winning this match.
And he felt like they were all against him anyway.
Yeah. He felt like, hey, I'm the odd man out here. I'm the guy that just everybody's counting against. So one thing I do want to point out, when Ty Dillinger came out to the ring, that jacket that came up around his neck, I did not like that. I didn't like that.
I thought he stole it from Charlotte.
Oh, it does kind of look like how Charlotte did. I did not like that jacket. So, Ty, let's not do that again. That was definitely a
bad move.
Bad move for me. He could just came out with a regular T-shirt on like he normally does and just walked out to the ring.
This is so far his WrestleMania moment, so I guess he felt like he had to do what he had to do.
He had to do what he had to do.
Yeah.
When the match started, it was kind of like, I did like the fact that, well, except for the New Day and Usos match, that they were the champions and came out first.
Yeah.
But I understand you want to get them hyped because they were going to talk before. But I did like the fact that Styles came out last being the champion, because a lot of times we'll see WWE bring the champion out first and then the person that's challenging them comes out afterward. And I never understand why they do that.
Right.
But they were looking at Dillinger and Styles were looking at Corbin, and they were like, yeah, we're going to gang up on him. And he tries to run. They circle him on the outside, and they begin to gang up on him. But other than that, it was mainly more of Dillinger and AJ Styles really doing the match, really. They carried the match because I really didn't see what Baron Corbin really brought to the match.
No, Baron did hit one. I did write down one good move he did when he was kind of fighting off Ty and AJ. I think AJ Styles was on the turnbuckle. No, he was about to try and do the little jumping thing from the ropes. And he caught him with both hands, and he did a double choke slam into a knee backbreaker.
Oh,
I thought that was that made me drop my jaw for a quick second. Dang, that was a really good move by Baron. But yeah, I agree with you. I think most of the match was pretty much Ty and Styles. But I felt like he had a couple of good spots because they did have a couple of good rallies in between the three doing move into each other and stuff. So, but yeah. I agree with you for the
because didn't it turn into a thing where everybody was in the corner at one time and everybody was doing their own little corner thing?
They would splash and then he would try to go to the other one and they'll dodge it, run to the other one, go back, and he dodge it, and they all did it back and back. So yeah,
I thought it was also funny too how the crowd was chanting him, "Where's your briefcase?"
Yeah, oh my gosh, that was so disrespectful.
and I think, as it was going on, the match continued. Now, usually they don't let AJ Styles hit this. Usually the opponent moves, but when he hit that 450 splash, that was beautiful.
Oh yeah,
because usually when he tries it, most of the time they move.
Right.
But this time he was able to land it on Corbin, which was nice. So that was one of my high points of the match as well. We did get to see the Cab Crusher come into play, but it didn't really seal the win for AJ.
Yeah. Another thing, which I didn't mean to cut you off on, what I noticed for Ty, it looked like he really hurt his leg, like in the middle, because they didn't sell it. Like it was just him really like trying to wiggle his leg
like
back
get it
in
to
the
come back. Like come back.
So I felt like that might have stifled him in doing a lot of moves. Cause I felt like I saw one move, it looked like they couldn't execute it initially just because of his leg. So I felt bad for him. I hope it's not a serious injury, but I noticed that was a real injury because they didn't sell it throughout the match.
Yeah, and then when Styles hit the 450 splash, and then on Corbin, I think somehow he gets out of the ring some kind of way, and then it's back to him and Dillinger again. And then, he hits a phenomenal forearm on Dillinger. At this point, we know once that move is there, not many people kick out from that. But then somehow Corbin sees the moment, kicks Styles out of the ring.
The mess out
at first
him.
he got hung up in the ropes. He's like, then he kicked him again. Like,
that
get
second
out.
kick was, that was powerful.
Yeah, because Styles got caught up in the ropes, and he's just like, get out. Like, and then he pins him for the win. And I guess this is going to build off that, how Styles has been saying, Corbin, you're the shortcut guy. You always take the easy way out or whatever.
Yeah.
But, it's a triple threat match at that point.
Right.
So,
what do you expect?
What do you expect? It's Baron Corbin. That's who he is. He's going to win by any means necessary. But I also think this is a way that they now is trying to push him now. Obviously, because remember you were saying he made the comment about to a fan or something on social media. So they took the
military person.
Yeah, they took the briefcase from him. They made him lose to Cena, look bad to Cena.
Took his original theme music.
Took his music from him. And so now maybe they feel like, okay, we punished him a little bit. We've kind of disciplined him. Now let's see if we can put him in the U.S. picture here. Because I really think he needs to be, I thought he should still have the briefcase and still be using it as a threat. And tonight would have been a perfect opportunity for him, because you could have had the scenes get tossed out and then it'd be Nakamura and him.
Right. Nakamura
gets the advantage, and right at that moment about to win it, and then Corbin comes in, cashes in, and wins.
Yeah, but to me, which I feel like they might do, but I wouldn't be surprised because they are doing the rematch clause for Tuesday. AJ gets his championship rematch.
But he wasn't the one who was pinned, though.
But it's still his championship.
It was, but he wasn't the one who got pinned.
That's all right.
Ty Dillinger was the one who got pinned, so he should be the one getting the rematch. But did
we not just say that they shouldn't be giving the non-champion the rematch?
Well, both of them are non-champions now.
But AJ was actually a champion. So I feel like they're going to give it back.
I hate that, though.
I would too.
Swap. I think Corbin should win. Let's let him keep it.
But that's just like how they did.
Move AJ out of that,
yeah,
and get him back where he belongs.
But you remember they did that to Cesaro, and he won it the Monday night before the pay-per-view, which I thought was horrible. But I don't know why they did that.
They probably did that to try to get a rating spike or something,
Possibly.
or try to do something to catch the fans or the universe off guard. But
what way to get another spike out of the ratings is to let AJ win this championship back.
Yep.
So I feel like you said, I feel like AJ should be up in the higher spot, and that could be the next opening for him and Jinder Mahal, maybe. But I don't really see Baron Corbin doing much with the United States Championship, because I don't see him making it relevant each week. I feel like it won't elevate him, and if anything, it's going to make the U.S. title less relevant. So I feel like the best thing they can do is put it back.
I think more the people who could possibly make it relevant is like a Dillinger. At that point, I think Dillinger should have won the match last night. Because he was the underdog anyway going in.
Right.
He might have won it. Dillinger looked good with it. Gable, Sami Zayn.
Listen, man, get Gable out of your mind.
I won't because he needs to be. He's too good of a.
He's definitely
talent
a great
to
wrestler.
Be held to a tag team standard.
Yeah.
We've seen him. They've already shown us a glimpse of him, against Rusev and AJ Styles. Did you see how he was slamming Rusev?
Yeah,
he was suplexing
and then
Rusev.
holding him up before slamming him too.
Yeah, so this guy needs to be in your singles competition for sure.
Chad Gailey's like the SmackDown's Bailey to me. Just how he does the good suit. I mean, not to say because I know you don't like Bailey's wrestling, but just by how his suplex is. But he still looks innocent to me. But he doesn't seem. He's not like a smiley person. But
yeah, that's one thing I like about him. He's not always. Every time he comes out, he's not always smiling.
I guess he just maybe because he looks young, he just looks more innocent to me. So
he's more of has that focused approach. I'm here to do it.
I'm just here to do it. So, but he's a good guy. But yeah, as far as this match, Baron Corbin wins United States Championship for the night, and he might lose it on SmackDown this week.
Styles may get it back, but if this is opportunity, this is the out for AJ.
Yeah,
because I don't know what's going to happen with Mahal and Nakamura. This could be a way for AJ. Obviously, you got to give him this rematch. Obviously,
but if I was AJ, I honestly, knowing what they're doing with gender, I would rather just keep my U.S. title. I wouldn't want to just get pushed up to a feud where I'm going to have to lose for the next couple of weeks in pay-per-views. I wouldn't want that.
I don't think they let AJ lose to him.
Yeah, they are.
I think because AJ's the moneymaker on SmackDown. I'm going to give it to you.
Listen, AJ, India. that's going to be the factor. That's the determining factor right there. So,
but that's the house that AJ Styles built.
It's about to be the house that India is refurnishing. That's what it's going to be. So, but yeah, that's
so it. Baron Corbin, your United States champion. So I mean, for now, I guess CJ's calling a short title reign.
Call it a rematch.
48-hour title reign for him. That Styles is going to get it back. So we're going to move on to the next match. Next one we have, I want to say, was
the Women's Championship.
The Women's Championship. The Sharpshooter versus the Figure Eight. Both of these girls coming from wrestling royalty, pretty much. You got Charlotte, Ric Flair's daughter, and Natty, coming from the Hart family.
Bret Hart's niece, isn't it?
Yeah, that's his niece. Yeah. So Bret Hart's her uncle. So, their families have been intertwined in wrestling history for decades. So, but as you were getting ready to go into it, what were you saying?
No, I was just pretty much saying exactly what you was about to say about it. Just the whole legacy between the two, Charlotte Flair and Natalya, which I know her last name isn't Hart, but bloodline. So, but one thing which adds on to what I was saying about Ty Dillinger's injury with this match, you see that they actually sold Charlotte's knee.
Yeah, because that's all it was, her focusing on her leg.
Yeah.
You noticed no pop from the crowd.
No.
Nothing. This match was dry. It was just... To me, it felt like a filler match. It didn't even feel like a championship match to me.
It was a filler match.
And Natty is... I understand they probably want to push Natty because she's one of their veterans. She's been around... I think she had some kind of record for most pay-per-view matches.
Yeah, she broke the record tonight.
So I understand trying to push her because she's been your more consistent woman's athlete in the WWE, but she's a boring champion. She doesn't bring... The championship doesn't do anything to push her or lift her.
And honestly, I don't remember Natalya being in that many pay-per-views.
I don't remember half of those matches.
Right.
I mean,
for me, and not just I know growing up before WWE Network, I didn't have we weren't buying pay-per-views, so I didn't watch them. But I mean, just the weekly shows, I don't remember Natalya until recently. So for her to break that record in my mind, it's like, where was she?
Like where did I miss all this?
That's almost like saying Dana Brooke is the longest attended WWE woman because she's not there. Like,
you hardly ever see her, so it's like, what did I miss?
Yeah,
but most of this match was just Natalya just beating up on Charlotte's knee and just focusing on that. Obviously, we know she was possibly prepping for a sharpshooter. And that's pretty much what it was. She was in control of the match. Charlotte got some momentum going at one point. She actually tried to do the little flare strut, even though her knee was kind of. I thought that was funny. You can try to do a strut,
right?
After all this pain to your knee, you got 15 seconds to try to strut. But
she had to do it for her dad.
Yeah, I understand. But the thing is, I love Charlotte when she does that moonsault. But I am so worried every time she does it because she pop 90% of the time she misses the people that she's trying to hit.
They just fall.
They just fall down and make it look like, or they try to slide over enough. But
or she'll put her arm out so it just looked like it was just a moonsault clothesline. That's what it is.
And it's just like, it's beautiful when she's in the air, but when she comes down with it, like she's not consistent with hitting it.
No.
Because Natalya she hit air. There was nobody there. So, I thought that could have been a big point of the match, when she did that. But it's just like she does it every match. And like I said, 90% of the time, she doesn't hit who the target is on that.
Not at all.
And obviously, I didn't even understand why Natty went to get the chair to hit her in the legs. Like, she already missed the moonsault. Her knee already bummed. Like, roll her in the ring and just put a sharpshooter on her.
She didn't feel like that.
Why did you feel you need... It wasn't like Charlotte had the advantage over you for you to feel like, I got to get disqualified so I can win. Yeah. At that point, like I said, just roll her in the ring and...
just take the win.
Take the win. Put her in the sharpshooter. It's over.
So, for the record, after the moonsault, Natty decided to go get a steel chair and wail on Charlotte, which disqualified her, which made Charlotte the technical winner, but by that same technicality, Natalya retains her women's championship. Which, this match was just...
It's just not a good match. It was... Bad move. Bad move. It was definitely not a good match.
Still was disappointing. It was a match that I would have wished, like how you had been saying for the longest, it should have been like a submissions match, the sharpshooter.
I think we could be going in that direction.
That could be.
How she kind of focused on her leg a lot. But it did nothing for me.
I guess it had to start the feud. Maybe that's what this
but
is.
The way the feud has been going, it's really not been a true build to it. Other than Charlotte's dad, I'm back, my dad, I want to do this for my dad type thing. But then Natty, as a champion, even though I'm assuming she's a heel champion, but it doesn't even feel like she's a heel or a face. It's just like she's just there.
She's just in the middle.
Yeah, she's just there.
But I think this disqualification win kind of gives more room for them to have an actual storyline to the next pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like maybe Survivor Series, it's going to possibly be Survivor Series or Royal Rumble that'll really solidify, which I don't think they're going to make it last till Royal Rumble. Maybe Survivor Series where we actually see the intensity. Maybe, hopefully we'll see that submissions match between the two. So I feel like that's just solely what it was, even though this beginning of the feud match was really disappointing.
Mm-hmm. It did like I said, it did nothing for me. It did nothing for the crowd. I didn't even understand why Natty had to go the DQ route because she was controlling the match most of the way through. Yeah. So
the next match is, if you didn't have enough championship match yet, we have the last WWE match, which is for the WWE Championship, which is Shinsuke Nakamura trying to defeat Jinder Mahal along with his Sin brothers. Just, from both of us, sincerely. Okay. It was so cool. I really couldn't even write that much for it. Oh, there's another one. I really.
Do we have an unlimited button where we could just keep?
I wish they could just be on repeat.
Yeah, just a loop, a constant loop of every time we bring up Jinder Mahal's name. It should do that.
Great intro though. It's great. He has a great entrance.
Yeah, he does. And then after that is yeah.
I don't know, man. I think they should take some time in development because I feel like he can be a great wrestler.
I don't see it.
I don't think he doesn't have enough time to work with people. Like, even for the last feuds he's been having,
enough time to work with people. Look, he fought Randy Orton for like a year. It seemed like.
But besides, okay, for Shinsuke specifically, the only time they fought was at pay-per-views. They didn't have like usually between like big feuds they have. Even with John Cena and Roman Reigns, they had a tag team match. Then both of them got put specifically in their own match. Like, Jinder hasn't really fought anybody.
Because you know why? The last 3 weeks he's been coming out laughing at the faces of Nakamura.
Exactly. So, of course, you're not going to have a great performance match when you're not even making either wrestler practice. Like, I mean, of course, we can believe in Shinsuke. Because, I mean, Shinsuke...
We know what he's going to bring.
Yeah, he came into the WWE as a decorated, very strong wrestler. But Jinder is just... there. He's just pushed, and I'm not going to get too far into what Jinder is and why he's there, but yeah.
Why is he there, CJ? Tell us. Why is Jinder there? I want to understand this.
Listen, India, stop, cancel. I can promise you, if you cancel y'all contract with WWE, Jinder will lose to one of the Sin brothers immediately. Just that fast. That's just how randomly it'll be. Shane McMahon will beat him in a Falls Count Anywhere 30-second match. And that's really, I hate to say it, but this Jinder Mahal's purpose for holding the championship is solely business. It has nothing to do with WWE's storytelling. It's solely just business that they're trying to make storytelling.
With me, I don't know what I'm more upset about. I don't know if I'm more upset about how they're burying Shinsuke Nakamura or how they're making Jinder Mahal seem like this high exalted, unbeatable champion.
He doesn't seem unbeatable. Like, to me, even though
that's the way he's being billed, though.
Yeah, I mean, they try to make it built that way, but even in that sense, it's the Sin brothers. Like, if there's a match without him justifiably having the Sin brothers
he loses
the entire match, he's going to lose. And to me, that's what doesn't give him that undefeatable sense to me. Because even in this match, even though they kicked him out, if they didn't distract the referee at the time where Nakamura actually hits the Kinshasa and the ref was in the ring, he probably would have won the match. Because even though he still... only kicked out just by putting his foot on the ropes, they still had at least 2 seconds before the ref got in to actually count.
True.
So,
but my thing is how they're burying Nakamura, and my thing is if I'm like NXT is showing you how to book talent.
Yeah.
And my thing is, if I'm in NXT right now, I want to stay in NXT. I don't want to go up to the main roster. And if I'm Triple H, I am pissed because I'm putting my hard work into this program down here to build you the superstars of tomorrow. And then when they get up to the main roster, you just bury them. You bury them, you misuse them, you have no sense of logic with any of this stuff that you're doing. What is Nakamura doing? Like, why is he losing to Jinder Mahal when he's already beaten Randy Orton and John Cena?
But that's the difference. Like you said, NXT, Triple H. Smackdown Raw, Vince McMahon.
And it's just like Triple H is making great talent down there from NXT. You look at Finn Balor, Nakamura, Bobby Roode. You look at all these people who've come up from the rock. Asuka, that's going to come up. We don't even know how they're going to use her. But it's when they get there, it's like a circus. It's like they don't even they don't know what they're doing with these people.
So far, the only two people that have had some moderate success singles wise. Well, no, for Raw, I mean, you got the Shield, all of them.
I mean, all of them came from NXT,
yeah,
but at that point, Triple H was still around because you had the Authority. You had
that's true.
Him, he was still kind of over NXT, but he wasn't as hands-on as he is now before the brand split. So he was actually there.
That's true.
Him and Stephanie running the show. So they pushed Seth Rollins, they pushed Roman, they pushed Dean.
And you know what? Now that you say that, all the main NXT people that actually are having some relevancy,
Kevin Owens,
is because they've had their hands with the McMahon. Because like you said, the Authority brought in the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H gave the championship to Kevin Owens when he first had that match. And then with AJ Styles, he battled Shane McMahon for that while. So, I mean, all of them really have the reason of still being relevant because of actual thoroughness with the McMahons throughout their career lives.
And it is. And it's like Triple H, he takes pride in NXT.
Yep.
Just like you heard the other week, he's upset with the way Finn Balor's being used.
Yeah.
And it's like Nakamura was the biggest thing NXT has ever seen. Like, that guy went 8 months without losing a match in NXT, and you're going to have him come to lose to Jinder Mahal back-to-back? Twice? Jinder Mahal? Like, who is Jinder Mahal? Obviously, what Jinder Mahal did was buffed himself up.
Facts.
He has the look of a heel, but he can't even be a heel. I don't see a heel laughing each and every week, picking at faces of another opponent. I see a heel coming out there cutting really great promos, coming out there doing heelish things,
Kevin
like
Owens.
attacking people backstage or whatever it takes to get your character across. And he just walks out every week with the Sin Brothers doing absolutely nothing for the WWE Championship.
This is the face of Nakamura. Constipated. So
I will talk to my people in my language.
So to get,
go ahead.
okay,
Go ahead.
I was about to say, to get into the match, to try to recap some of this horrendous match. It was a little rally between the two. The Sins are immediately jumping onto the side of the rings to distract Nakamura each way. I think Nakamura finally gets his hands on one of them at one point.
Yeah, when he's on the outside of the ring,
Yeah.
I think he kicked one of them or kneed one of them or did something to him.
Yeah. But then it gets to the part where the ref finally goes outside and he goes outside in front of him and trying to throw them out the ring, throw them out the arena. But while he's doing that, Shinsuke hits the Kinshasa on Jinder, but there's no ref. And he finally turns around, comes in the ring, tries to do the 3 count, but by this time, Jinder has enough wherewithal to at least put his foot on the ropes. And
can I segue into something here?
Go ahead.
Because this morning, before coming here to do the podcast, I was listening at YouTube, JD from NY206's Hell in a Cell review. And he brought up a really good point that made a lot of sense to me. He was like, so you mean to tell me Nakamura, wrestling royalty all around the world, so experienced, been in every wrestling program he's been in, hits his finishing move on somebody and is going to pin him right beside the ropes, not having the sense enough with all this experience that he has to slide Jinder away from the rope to pin him for the championship.
Yeah.
Like, this is Nakamura. We're making Nakamura look like he doesn't have any common sense at that point.
Yeah.
Like, we already noticed he's, like, close to the ropes. Obviously, he's going to either throw his foot on the rope, put his hand on the rope to avoid being counted.
Right.
To 3.
Honestly, for me, like, even though I haven't seen any of him, outside of NXT, which I've seen just a little bit there, I feel like for the most of us, and at least for me, because I tried to catch up on who Shinsuke was when he came into the mainstream WWE Weekly on Smackdown, the more they play him on Smackdown now, the less you remember who Nakamura really is.
Because, and you know what that is? They're building him wrong. Like, basically, like I told you weeks back, you don't need to see Nakamura every week. He doesn't need to be in a ring every week. He doesn't need to be in a wrestling match. He needs to be kind of...
He should. Now I will argue with that because I feel like
you don't.
He
you
should,
need to build
but
him.
he should be dominant. Like they should
if
put
you
him
do
in.
Let him be dominant.
Yeah,
which
they should put him in
that.
squash
They have
matches.
done that against everybody he's faced except Mahal. He's beaten Dolph Ziggler,
But they weren't dominant.
He's beaten Kevin Owens,
But they weren't dominant.
But the talent, you got to also sell the fact that he's on the main roster now.
But I'm still, even when certain people came into the game, I mean, of course, he's not the size of Braun Strowman, but you still had jobbers that would come out and then it would be a quick match.
But I don't want to see Nakamura fighting.
Well, I don't want him to see like a nobody,
yeah.
like not like a Lou Horn or something, like just some nobody. I have no idea who that is. I just thought of a random name. But like make him fight a part of a tag team, and then that makes him like how Braun Strowman just went through Seth and Dean. Like make him fight when Aiden English a couple of times. He squashed Aiden English.
Nakamura's too good for that. He doesn't need to be.
That's why you should squash him.
He don't need to fight the bottom feeders.
Listen, he should have fought.
He needs to be where he is, but like you have it right. He just needs to be more dominant against the people he's facing. And Jinder Mahal is a person that I know Nakamura can beat 10 out of 10 times every time they step in the ring, because Jinder Mahal has no ring talent whatsoever. He can't even do his finisher perfect.
Yeah,
like, how do you have a finisher? It's your finishing move, and you can't even execute it the way it's supposed to be.
He consistently messes it up.
So it's really just bad. Like, and my thing is this. So Jinder Mahal can kick out from a Kinshasa, and he can get, like, usually when that's Nakamura's end-all, be-all move.
Right.
He pops up, like, after he puts his foot on the rope, rolls out the ring, walking around the outside of the ring like nothing happened. Like, this is the Kinshasa. This is a move that Nakamura builds toward every match. And it's just like he just gets up like it's nothing. So I just hate the way, I hate this for Nakamura.
Yeah.
I really feel like JD from NY206 said he just needs to leave WWE. He just needs to go back to New Japan, where he will be appreciated for his talent, and that they won't put him in these types of situations to be buried every pay-per-view.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want him to go, but I mean, for him, for his success, yeah, he should go. But for me, I really want him to stay. I don't want him to feud with Jinder. I mean, there's
no chemistry there.
The purpose is right now is we just have to accept the fact that Jinder is going to hold the championship.
I don't have to accept
Royal Rumble. I mean, even if you don't accept it, he's going to hold it until at least Royal Rumble, and if not WrestleMania, because depending on how much business they do and how much expansion they do throughout India, they might just make him hold it until WrestleMania. So I'm just saying we have to just accept that fact.
But who does he feud with now? Who's the next person up to fall victim to
it depends.
The Singhs and Jinder Mahal, the modern day Maharaja?
Like I said, if they aren't going to give AJ Styles the championship back, I don't want him to go this route. But I feel like he's the only person that's next to go.
Saying.
But I don't want that because I know Jinder's not gonna.
He's a man. They ain't gonna do AJ.
They're not giving him the championship. There's no way.
This is what you should do.
What is the Vince McMahon theme music? No chance.
That's what you got. But what they should do, Nakamura either should have won tonight, or like I said, the idea I threw out here earlier, but obviously it can't be because it's after the fact. Corbin doesn't have the briefcase anymore.
Right.
The briefcase anymore. But if he did, he should have cashed it in.
Yeah. That would have been perfect time.
Then you could have had Nakamura, Mahal, and then Baron Corbin. Then somehow Nakamura wins it off Corbin or something like that. Let him go into Royal Rumble WrestleMania season with the belt. Let AJ win the Royal Rumble, and it's him and Nakamura at WrestleMania. But I really feel like right now Nakamura should have not lost. Nakamura's first loss should have been at WrestleMania. Like, Nakamura should have beat everybody that's been put in front of him. He should beat everybody. His streak, because he went 8 months in the NXT without losing.
But he wasn't undefeated.
I mean, he went 8 months before he lost his first match, and that was the Bobby Roode. Yeah. I mean, that was Samoa Joe, when Samoa Joe beat him the first time.
See, they even
and then he came back and beat Joe. Yeah. He's the only 2-time NXT champ. Him and Joe. But then he feuded with Bobby Roode. That's when they said, okay, we're going to push Nakamura up. Like, this guy's on fire down here. Let's put him on the main roster. And then you put him on the main roster to what? What has he done since he's been on Smackdown Live?
He beat John Cena.
Honestly, Randy Orton. Those are the two best of the decade.
That's the highlight of his career.
That's the two. But he can't beat Jinder Mahal for the championship. It doesn't make sense. There's no logic there. There's no logic. I don't care about it. I don't care about India, but I don't. For this sake of this argument, I can care less about India and what they want and what they want to build over there for the WWE. You need to focus on your fan base here in America.
And honestly,
I understand Mahal being the champion, but he shouldn't have not been the champion this long.
Yeah.
He should lose to Nakamura. Hands down, point blank, period. Nakamura should be the champion right now going into WrestleMania season.
And honestly for me, which I'm trying not to go too far in this.
I know, I'm going to get off it, but it's terrible what they're doing.
I guess because
there's no rebuttal. There's nothing you can do to
because I'm
defend this.
I really don't want to sound too American about this, But it's like, I feel like maybe even India shouldn't just want somebody to be up there if they can't wrestle.
He can't wrestle.
He can't
cut a promo. He can't wrestle. Only thing he has going for him is his entrance and the suits he wears.
And the Sin
and
Brothers.
The little,
because I like the thread.
What do you call it?
I don't know.
The
turban, hijab.
Turban or whatever.
Yeah. But I feel like Jinder Mahal can still be a pretty good presence in the feuding without having a championship.
United States Championship. Perfect.
No, I don't want him to be a United States Championship. But you know what? That's funny. It could do that because they really... WWE is notorious for doing their gimmicks of putting non-American
foreign
people...
champion as the United... You saw how Kevin Owens did it. He's Canadian.
Yeah. But Rusev was probably the best at it.
Yeah, and I think that's what you need to build him off of. Even though we've seen it before, it works. Do what
it
works.
Does. It does
because
work.
This is not working.
It does work.
Your WWE Championship match is not even the main event at your pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Then you have a Bobby Roode Ziggler match right after.
Yeah,
it's the third match away from your main event.
We got to get into that.
Are you serious?
So
the WWE Championship is so irrelevant right now that Mahal has it. It's done nothing for him.
I don't know. It's made me want to see him more.
I don't want to see him.
I must say this. I would be remiss if once he loses the championship, he's gone off the face of the whole.
I don't
WWE.
think he should go off the face, but then that's when you put him on like a mid-card level.
I still want him to be competing. Just how you say, even though Rusev has been coming back and he's been in a losing streak, let Jinder do it, because I feel like I like Jinder. I like the idea of who Jinder is, especially with the Sin Brothers, because that gives him a threat of saying he can win because he has help. So, but if he can become this person now that him and the Sin Brothers are starting to have discord or they can't get it right, and now even though they're trying to help, it's hurting him and he's losing the matches, and he can still be his pride of India and still be that, but still be doing it in losing efforts, they can keep him not always in a title hunt, but keep him in that main card. So now, let's say, fantasy book this. All right, let's say Nakamura wins. All right, so of course Jinder's going to have his rematch. But now AJ Styles, now that he doesn't have the title, he wants to come up. So now AJ has to go through Jinder and the Sin Brothers. And I think that feud will be it'll be interesting solely because the Sin Brothers will interfere. AJ will get close, Sin Brothers will interfere. Then the next pay-per-view, AJ finds a way to overcome the three. And that builds that up to go fight Nakamura. So that builds it better. That's why I say I would like him to still be a heavyweight card, but he doesn't have to have the title.
I agree.
Yeah. Because
what JD from NY206 on YouTube said, he would rather see Roman Reigns. He hates Roman Reigns. He would rather see Roman Reigns be the WWE champion and the Universal champion at the same time than to see Jinder Mahal hold the WWE championship.
The fact that he hates him makes that even more.
He said he would rather see that than Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal is not the guy that WWE wants to be. We've been doing this for almost 5 to 6 months now. It's time to take the belt off him. Like you said, maybe not move from the heavyweight card. I think you should. But he's not good in the ring. He can't cut promos. Yeah. When they first came up with the idea of it, it looked as if it was going to be a thing that was good, but now I'm over it. I'm completely over it, and I hate the way they're burying Nakamura. He deserves so much better than what they are giving him right now. He's losing the aura about him.
Yeah, I
like when
agree.
You see Nakamura now come down, you're just gonna look like, okay, he's not gonna win.
Yeah, I'm just most times now, I'm just ready for him to get in the ring. I'm not excited. I love his music, but I'm not excited on watching him come down the ring.
After the music goes off, it's just like, okay, this is gonna be another. One, I can't say the word I want to say.
Yeah.
Another BS finish.
Right. But you know what? For Nakamura, because I think they're ending this feud with him, I think they should put him into a United States title ring right now.
Nakamura doesn't deserve. Nakamura
he doesn't deserve it. I'm not saying
here.
I know he doesn't deserve it, but we're not going to get it. We're just not. And it's the sad thing that for Vince McMahon and the WWE corporate office to feel like they're pretty much bribing India to watch them by saying, hey, we're just going to hold your person at the top, at the top tier. That's almost like we're saying that if James Ellsworth was Sweden and we wanted to build a Swedish audience, we give him the United States Championship. That's almost like what this is right now. Except for the fact that Jinder at least looks the part of a wrestler.
That's all he does.
He looks the shape of what a wrestler is. And so, like, I mean, to me, that's just deceitful because, like you said, we know the in-ring performance of Jinder Mahal is definitely short and is not up to par. And they don't. And the fact of the matter, besides that, is they don't work to build it. Like his weekly stuff.
If
is
Nakamura can't drive you to a great match, I don't know who can.
Yeah, but
imagine seeing a Styles and Nakamura. That match is going to be
an awesome match. And I feel like they're going to do that in the upcoming future, but they just have to let go of this business that they're trying to force into this storyline. They really do, and it's disappointing. Because, like I said, Jinder Mahal has grown on me to some extent that I do want him to see him. But the fact that they're doing, because I never felt this way with Roman Reigns, how they felt like they were shoving them down everybody's throats, except for when they did Royal Rumble, when he fought the match and then came into the Royal Rumble at number 30. That's the only time I felt like, hey, yeah, they really are shoving Roman Reigns down the throat. That's how I feel about Jinder Mahal right now. It's how everybody claims to feel about Roman Reigns. So, and it's just like, you got to do something better, man. You got too many people. Go ahead, hit it. We're going to get off of this. One more.
And one more for good measure.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. So, and before we get to the next match, which is Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens did this quick little promo, I think, backstage before the match, saying that Shane, he turns everything around and saying that Shane has been destroying his life. It's like, what about my family and my kids and how he's been taking everything away from me? So, you know what? I'm going to send Shane to the metaphorical hell that they're going to go into this Hell in a Cell match. So, I thought that was funny how now, on top of everything he's been doing, he's done beat up the man's dad and said he should have died in a plane crash. His kids, he said something about his kids multiple times. How he's gonna powerbomb him so much that he won't remember his kids' names. But now on Sunday, he says that Shane has been ruining his life. I thought that was like,
I like how they did the backstory of it, like to kind of take you all the way back to like when Kevin Owens first came to SmackDown Live, and then he was like, "Why did you draft me? Like I wanted to be on this show. Why didn't you draft me when the initial first draft took place? Why do you want me on your show now?" And this is a land of opportunity. And Shane was just trying to explain himself like, hey, SmackDown Live is going to give you more opportunities. He was like, why do you want me here?
It's like, that's crap. This is an opportunity.
Yeah, that's what he's like. That's crap. And, and it kind of built that way all the way through. And then all the United States Championship opportunities he felt that Shane has cost him. And the whole thing with the referee getting the count wrong. And so it was a nice build to it for it. But I with the interview there right before it was really funny, like how he made the lady walk off, like, like, hey, I got this from here, like I got it. Let me. And he turns and faces the camera. He just like pleading his case. Kevin Owens is a good heel, man.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely the best heel that they have on SmackDown right now. Mm-hmm. So now to this match between Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. Now, of course, I love Bobby Roode, and I'm glad he came in here now. And for Dolph Ziggler, I like how he did his entrance. He was like, on SmackDown, the Go Home show, he was like, I'm going to have this amazing entrance that you've never seen before. Mm-hmm. And then when it finally come his time to come in, he starts his entrance, and then they have the infamous DJ.
Oh yeah, I did hear that. Yeah.
And then it was nothing. It was no Titatron, no music. He just walked down the ring and he just got himself ready for the match. And I thought
he didn't even have any like video playing
nothing
back, like that on the Titantron. Nothing was there.
That was genius to me because of course his whole argument is the fact that everybody's all hype and no wrestle. So for him to do that, he was like, he finally sold into the fact that, you know what, I don't need any of this. Like I'm gonna come down here, no music, and I'm gonna beat you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting thing to do. But the match itself was, it was all. I can't even say.
But
all right.
in their defense, after watching that BS they just saw with the Nakamura Mahal match, that's why the crowd wasn't into it.
But I mean, it was a filler match.
And why would you put that match after the championship match? That match should have been much earlier in the night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It
that
was just
probably
a
could have
filler
been
match.
right after Usos and New Day. Because then after Usos and New Day, we saw Rusev and Orton.
I would have put it. Because
then you already got excitement about that. And then when Bobby Roode's music hits, it's like, oh, it's Bobby Roode. We just saw the New Day and the Usos, a great match. And we got Bobby Roode coming out. I mean, and it's just like nothing. Like,
I don't know. Honestly, I would have switched the U.S. Championship and put it back.
You could have put it, yeah. Or you could have put the... But then you can't have the U.S. Championship match after the WWE Championship match. Even though
that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
it was a better. Out of the 3 championship matches, that was out of the 3 singles championship matches, that was the better one.
Yeah.
So I'm about to say the New Day championship, the tag championship was the best.
That was the match of the night.
Yeah, so that was the best all around championship or non-championship.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was definitely a bad spot for it. I thought, like I said, the creativity of what Dolph Ziggler's story was coming into was good. The match was pretty good between the two. It was kind of a slow. It kind of made it feel like they were really trying to make it like a real wrestling.
But the crowd was dead,
non-responsive.
Everybody
went to the bathroom. They were on mute. Yeah, they all went to the bathroom and to the concession stand.
After they saw what they saw, a lot of them were probably busy on their phones. You know, I can't believe I just saw Nakamura lost this.
Let me text all this
again, and
then they looked up and was like, "Oh snap! It's the match is still going on."
But it ended in a tight one. No pun intended.
Good one. That was a really good one.
I knew you would like that.
That was a good one.
Did you have that written down?
I did not. That was great. That was a great one. I just what he's getting at. Which before I get to his pun, one thing I noticed Dolph Ziggler did, he botched the Famouser. You can't botch the legendary move.
Like, JD from NY 206 was like, it turned into like a Famouser / Bulldog.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It turned into like a Bulldog thing because he definitely missed the mark. But to get to your
also too, Bobby Roode hit a massive spine buster. He does really good spine back. The lift he gets on it, and then how he just takes you down.
To me, him and Carl Anderson off of Raw does the best spine busters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you really don't see that move anymore. Mm-mm. I mean, back in the day we saw Triple H, The Rock do it, but that spine buster, man, that's a big time move for
right. Me. So yeah, that's probably one of the high parts of the whole match between them two is between those two parts. Well, that low part between the botched Famouser. But it got to a part where it went to Bobby Roode trying to do a roll up. And it rolled up into Dolph Ziggler trying to do a roll up.
And it went all the way across the ring.
It literally went back and forth all the way to the end where Bobby Roode finally gets on top, holds the tights for the win. And immediately as they, ring the bell, Dolph Ziggler hits him with a zigzag. Mm-hmm. And that's his finisher. And that was just the ultimate indication that this feud has begun. Like, it's going to continue. So.
My thing is, I don't know how much of Roode you saw in NXT, but I like him better as a heel.
Really?
I like the heel Bobby Roode. Like, I really do. The smiling and I want to see the Bobby Roode come out like he used to in NXT and the designer suits and everything, and just come out and just pretty much feel like I'm better than any of you here. Like, this is my show. This is my Smackdown. Like he used to do it. This is my NXT. I made NXT what it is. I want to see that Bobby Roode because I don't want Bobby Roode to be a face. It's like we were talking about, Triple H put so much into his creation down there in NXT, developing these guys. And it's like WWE goes exactly away from what made them what they were. I think you should continue what made them good in NXT and bring it up to the main roster. And I just feel like...
But, okay.
Go ahead.
I was about to say, I get what you're saying, but because we know how good the heel of him sells, but before he left the NXT, he was turning face. Like, he was like, people were excited to see him on that. So I think it's a good thing for him to play to the excitement of people bringing him in. And I think eventually, like maybe after this feud with Dolph Ziggler, then he turns heel. Like, or I don't know how they're going to do this whole feud. I was like, maybe Dolph Ziggler wins one, and then that's when he starts getting upset with the crowd or whatever. And maybe he falls into Dolph Ziggler's idea of like, you know, you don't really care how I do in the ring. You just like the other people for who they are. So I know, like you said, I haven't really seen much of them. And I do understand how great heels can be and how needed they are. But because of the hype that was built for him to come into the WWE, like, I would have been really upset for, as excited as I like this music and everything, for him to be a heel. Like,
I mean, people were still excited about the music in NXT when he was a heel down there. And it was just like, you know, I just... Like they deviate away from what makes people great. Like like it's just one of those things, man. Like if it's working, why go away from it? So now it's just like I'm not used to seeing him in this role. Yeah, and it's like it's not doing anything for me because I'm like, okay, it's Bobby Roode. I'm used to this Bobby Roode. I've seen this Bobby Roode for the last 6, 7, 8 months down in NXT. Now when he's here, it's like he's a face. And it's just like with Nakamura. Like, I'm used to this Nakamura in NXT dominating, and then he gets here on the main roster and he's trash. He's trash.
Well, he's good trash. I mean, because he's beat most of the main people that you want to see him beat. He's
already beaten Kevin Owens. He's beaten Baron Corbin. Yeah. He's beaten Cena. He's beaten Randy Orton. Beaten Ziggler.
It's only one reason why he can't beat Jinder.
What are we building to?
We're not. It's not a build.
So he's never going to beat Jinder. No, what we're saying.
He'll beat him in January.
Then you're going to give him a short title reign going into WrestleMania?
No, I don't think so. Well, yeah, he's going to have the title until WrestleMania, but I think that feud is going to...
I think he deserves a long title reign.
He's going to get it. It's going to be him and AJ Styles.
I think so, and I think we might not even get that because Jinder keeps the belt to WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's true. I still believe that if, depending on how much they're going to do with this suspension, he could hold it until WrestleMania. But I don't see, honestly, as arrogant as Vince McMahon can be, especially with this whole business venture he's pushing it, which is the whole reason we have Jinder as champion. I don't see him wasting his WrestleMania on that. Like, I really don't see him doing that. I really don't. So I feel like
don't put it past him.
I feel like he'll give it up. He'll give it up at Royal Rumble. I really do. And maybe this actually will give Jinder a break, or like I said, if they can really push like the people.
This. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
This is the idea I'm hearing. You ready?
Yeah.
Him and Cena at WrestleMania. Cena wins the 17th championship on Jinder Mahal.
Well, that makes sense for Cena. That makes sense for Cena.
Cena's going to win his 17th this year. Next year at WrestleMania. Okay. And it's going to be Jinder Mahal he's going to beat. And then we're going to see Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. And then we're going to see Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar.
I can't wait for that.
So we're going to see Cena and Reigns be your two dominant champions.
And then they're going to make an undisputed belt again.
So, because I don't, as much as I want to see it, I don't think we'll see a Nakamura AJ Styles. I'm praying.
If they do, it'll just be a non-title.
And then that should be for a title. That match of that caliber should be for a belt. But I honestly feel like Mahal's going to coast on into...
He might. Now that you said that,
Cena's going to cash it in. Cena's the big American guy. You're the last person I got left to do this against. Yeah. And I'm going to cash it in and put the title back on somebody who deserves it. And if anybody can get past the Singh brothers, it's John Cena.
Right.
So
he's going to double. And matter of fact, look, I'm going to go. If that really does happen, if that's the path of whatever's going to happen, and the Singh brothers are there at ringside, this is what's going to happen. Just to me, depends on if they make it a no falls count or whatever kind of stipulation. Either the refs are going to get the Singh brothers out, or John Cena's going to double AA both of them through the announcer table.
Probably so.
That's just immediately I can see.
But he should do like Roman Reigns did to the Miz to Rise, like before the match even.
Just go at him.
And the Miz is sitting there like, no, I need them.
No, my Singh brothers.
But I mean, I think that's what we're building to.
Okay.
But back to Roode and Ziggler. That's how you know this wasn't a good match.
Right. We literally went somewhere else.
I think the placement of the match was, he could have got more
placement was bad
if it was earlier in the show, and then just following up what they saw with Nakamura and Jinder Mahal. It's a lot to try to get invested in a match after you just saw. You feel like Nakamura just got robbed again of another opportunity. So Bobby Roode is good. I mean, I like the heel Bobby Roode better, but I think this is going to continue with him and Ziggler. I'm anxious to see how they're going to build their feud going forward. But it was just, to me, it just wasn't a good match. Didn't get to see the glorious DDT. I didn't expect the match to end up on a roll-up. So I don't know how they're going to sell the roll-up.
On a roll-up of roll-ups.
Roll-up, yeah. That was a tight one for sure. That was a tight one.
Definitely.
All right, we're going to move on from that. And now, main event. Hell in a Cell. The match everyone's been waiting for. Shane O'Mac versus Kevin Owens inside a Hell in a Cell no disqualification match.
Go ahead.
First off, going into this, isn't a Hell in a Cell match already no disqualification anyway?
Yeah,
no, not no disqualification, false count anywhere.
I would think.
Well, not really, because you trap them inside the cell. They're really not supposed to go outside the cell,
right.
But they find themselves outside of the cell. But it's like, what's the whole point of having the Hell in the Cell match if you want to do things outside of the cell? Why not just make it a false count anywhere match? Why do you need? I understand you want to use the cell as a weapon to, but you know what they should have did? What would have made more sense, and this just came to me. It should have just been a false count anywhere match.
Without the
and
cell?
The cell just automatically drops down during the match. And it's like, and they look up and all like, oh, we inside the Hell in the Cell now. Yeah. Like, it should have just been.
Or make Shane just call for it, because he's the commissioner still.
Yeah.
So he's like, bring it down.
Yeah. They should have did it like that. That would have been, because then you're not going into it thinking it's going to be a cell match.
Right.
So then you're like, obviously you got a cell on the Hell in the Cell pay-per-view, but you had your tag team Hell in the Cell match, and you might have could have had, like I said, maybe another one between someone else. And then, surprisingly, the cell just comes down. Oh my God, who's dropping the cell? Like, you know how to get the excitement about stuff like that, and that would have been perfect for it.
Yeah, I can see that. That actually would have been a pretty good spot for it.
But I didn't understand the false count anywhere. But then when Shane wanted the guy to open the cell, he was like, "No,
I can't let you out."
But it's a false count anywhere. You're supposed to open the door for me.
Where am I gonna pin him? In between the cell and the ring? Like, come on.
There was some stuff there that just kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
I don't think Kevin Owens delivered on the powerbomb promise he made. He get that powerbomb promise.
The powerbomb promise.
He didn't.
I don't think he did that. If anything, he only had really one powerbomb, and that was on top of the cell. That was.
I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna let you go. There's so much I want to hit on this.
No, like I said, for me, the match, I felt like it was good. Despite the fact that I don't like Shane McMahon as the wrestler, I was excited to see Shane McMahon the fighter. So I think the fact of this being a Hell in a Cell stipulation, the false count stipulation. But Shane McMahon did really have some good wrestling spots. Like, I know he pulled a tornado DDT out of nowhere.
Yeah. That splat, even though he missed the shooting star press.
The shooting star press. That was a good spot too. Of course, he does his signature stuff now. If anybody doesn't know Shane McMahon, but like in between his hiatuses with WWE, he's like a real big Muay Thai fighter or something, martial arts. So you see a lot of him doing the punching and kicks. And to me, I'm pretty sure those punches are hitting. Because it
don't look like he's hitting a lot of those punches, though. It's just like
I think he's holding some of them, but I think a couple of them, especially the kicks, were kind of on point. And I only reason I say that is because from Wrestle Talk TV, I know they had Chris Jericho had some comments about a time he had to fight with Shane McMahon, and he was like, chill out. Like, he said he had to tell Shane, like, chill out, because Shane was really like catching him in the face with the punches. Mm-hmm. And I think Chris Jericho actually had to hit him back in the face, like during during that sell, like trying to sell a match. But Shane is really going at him with hands for real. So I can see that, during this pay-per-view, like, he's definitely trying to go at it. Even though I'm sure he probably sold a couple of them just to not hurt Kevin Owens, so he could still come out strong as Kevin Owens looked eventually. But I like when they finally got out the ring and they climbed on the cell. You haven't really seen anybody climb on the top of the cell. Like, if anybody...
But they got up there and didn't do anything.
Yeah, and then on the fact Kevin Owens got scared, it looked like... I felt like he genuinely got scared to get off that top of the ring. Like, he was just like... It's really...
He was looking down like... He was looking like...
Then he walked back and he was like beating his head like, come on, bro. I know I'm supposed to do this part.
But what got me, though, some of the spots for me, I'm going to get back to the top of the cell.
Go ahead.
The cannonball on the table.
Oh, yeah.
That was nice. Even though Shane moved. That was nice. I think he really got hurt on that.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Yeah, because, I mean, he... like, and the thing, like, I wrote down Kevin... Like, I think I tweeted out during the show... And again, follow us on Twitter at Sports Moves and Instagram at It's Sports Moves. But plug. I think I tweeted, I was like, Kevin Owens is sneaky athletic.
Yeah.
Even though he's, a lot of people pick at him like he's big, he's fat, or whatever.
Orton hates him.
Yeah, but he can do some things.
Yeah.
And that cannonball, like doing that at that rate of speed and that tight of a space, and he went through that table so fast and hard, it was like, I know that hurt. But that was a good spot, and I love the coast to coast.
Yeah,
Shane always does the little trash can, and he'll jump from the other side to the other side, and he always pulls that off. Yeah. I love every time I see him do that.
He does it. He definitely does it. He looked like he hurt himself a little bit when they showed it in slow motion. He kind of gave himself a little whiplash on it, hitting his head on the ground. But like you said, it's always a good plug to see him do that. So that's like one of the vintage things that you can always expect to see.
Yeah, you can always expect that. He's either going to be that or the elbow drop on the announce table. Yeah. He's always going to do that. But we'll get to that part later. But that was one of the big moments for me. But did you notice, like, when they were on top of the cell, like, it was like a certain part of the cell looked like it was gonna cave in.
Yeah.
But you noticed it looked like Owens was trying to do a pop-up powerbomb one time,
and they couldn't get up. Like, he was just jumping. Jump. He was like, all right, now back up and run to me.
Run to me, then I can catch you, because he was too close.
Yeah.
Because it was like Shane was like on him, and then he was like, oh. Then he tried it again, and it was like, nah, you can't do it that way. And then later he ran up to him, and then he got him. Yeah. I actually thought when he did that, Shane was going to go through the cell.
I did too. I think that was one thing that they were worried about. Cause I noticed a lot of times, like whenever they did a slam and both person fell, they made sure that once they both were on the ground, that if they weren't already in different little like cubicles of the cell part, that one person would roll into the next one. So I felt like they were always conscious of making sure not to have so much kind of weight distributed on the cells at one time. You know, despite, of course, them fighting over the cells, but I felt like maybe something was different when you lay down versus standing up. Mm-hmm. So you can tell that they were really trying to be cautious about it, except for the fact that Shane ran at him one time, and it was towards the end, and I was scared that somebody was going to fall off, and then it looked like Kevin Owens was going to try and throw him off, and he slid down.
I know he said he was going to do that, and I thought that was going to happen, but
I did too.
They ain't going to risk Shane getting hurt that bad like that.
Because, I mean, you getting thrown off, there's going to be a chance that you overshoot the table. So
yeah, like how Mankind did it was perfect.
Yeah.
Because he's like dead weight in the air, so he's going to keep his same, flow going down. But Shane, he might, like you say, he might overshoot it, might undershoot it. You don't never know what can happen in a situation like that.
So it's best for him to do.
But I feel like when you're going to go battle at the top of the cell, somebody got to go through the cell at the top. You have to. Yeah. They just basically got up there just to do what they could have did in the ring.
But it was so hyped, though. It was definitely...
Everybody was waiting like... who's gonna go through?
You were just scared, like
and then you were like, "Oh, they ain't."
I don't know, but I was because I think maybe now because I'm like just more worried about people's well-being. I was like, "Oh, thank God they didn't fall." Because every time for me, I was like, "Oh, he's gonna fall!" Like because in my mind, I'm seeing it. Because I don't know if you remember which one of the last wrestling video games where they actually allowed you to slam one through the ring. Mm-hmm. The graphic up there was when you slam through the ring. Most occasions they landed on their neck. Before they actually just fell flat. And I was like looking at it when I was like when they like would zoom out and pan out and show them up there versus how far the drop is to the ring. I was like, I do not want anybody to fall through here. I
love it. I love when they fall through.
You wanted the carnage.
When that man,
Mankind.
I mean, you can't hype me. I'm gonna throw you off the cell. I'm gonna powerbomb you. You didn't even do that, but one powerbomb in the whole match.
Man, D man.
I mean, you don't. put threats out there and then you don't carry through on what you say you were going to do.
Well, what happened? What happened?
Yeah, like, and then the thing is, when they're climbing down, I thought it was just, because like what JD said from NY206 on YouTube, he was like, he actually thought the cage was supposed to break through, but it never did. That's why they stayed up there as long as they did, kept trying these different moves, and it didn't collapse, so they had to go to something else, and that's probably why they was climbing down on the side, knocking each other off, and then we saw Kevin Owens fall back and then go through the table.
And you know what? That might make sense too, because you notice that they only really stayed on one half of the cell.
So they never went around to any other side. They just stayed in that one little spot, and then you had the other little piece that came down like that holds the cell in place.
Yeah, and
they had to kind of, because it kind of made it feel like even when they were just walking on it, if you go back and look at how the cage,
it was dipping.
Yeah, it was dipping down. They never did go through, so it looked like they was like, well, we got to do something different. So
let's go back down.
Yeah, and so they went back down, knocked him off through the table.
Which, like I said, I still feel like part of that.
If you Shane, I understand now. Because he knocked him down, then you still had to put him on the other table to jump down off the top. I'm like, that's just too much work to try to do. Like, I got to climb all the way down, knock you off, climb down, drag you over here, climb back up.
But I think Kevin Owens was genuinely scared. Like, I think that's why they didn't do that plug. Like, I honestly feel like maybe Kevin Owens has been really good at selling his emotions. So, he could have definitely fooled me. But I genuinely felt like, he was scared to take that jump. Like, I felt like he was supposed to try and do that dive and miss.
Mm-hmm. And he's too big to be doing high risk. He can do some
high
risk stuff, but true. That high, I would have been scared for him because he's a big dude, man. Yeah. And coming down on Shane like that.
No, he wasn't gonna come on Shane. Shane was gonna move.
Yeah, I know Shane was gonna move. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, but still, move. Yeah, you're right.
Because he was like,
yeah, he was.
Like, I got the. No, I'm not. I can't. It's like he was battling himself there. It's like you had the angel and the devil. Like, oh, you do it, man. You can do it, Kevin. You can do it. It's like, no, you can break your neck if you do this. You literally know you can break your arm, or whatever. But I'll let you build me up to the end there.
So, as we were saying, they were climbing down the cell. They started fighting on the side. Shane starts to bang Kevin Owens' head into the cell, and he falls back, takes out one announcer. So Shane probably could have got the win right there, but Shane was like, no. I have to do what everybody came here to see. So I pick up Kevin Owens, I drag him to the other announce table, I headbutt him to kind of make sure he's going to stay down, and I climb back up to the top of the cell. He does his little look, he crosses his heart.
He hopes to die.
And as he jumps, somebody comes out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, taking it from Randy, and pulls Kevin Owens out of the way. And by that time, Shane is just a falling sack of weight, and just crashes through, like obliterating the announce table. And
Shane is 0 for 2 off the cell.
Yeah, definitely. So as
he's got to redeem himself. They got to give him one more cell match to be able to hit that off the top, though.
So as they're like the camera's trying to focus to see who it is, we find out that it's Sami Zayn, and so of course the medical is rushing immediately to check on Shane. It doesn't look good. They're trying to put the stuff on him, but Sami thinks. And he picks up Kevin Owens and he throws him on top of Shane. And he forces the ref to count the 3 count because it is still a false count anywhere. And then they call the match. And then they finally are able to cart Shane off. And Sami walks off. And Kevin finally's coming to his senses, looking in like bewilderment, like what is going on. So it doesn't look like Kevin Owens knew what was happening. So now without going to like getting too far past this, because we're still talking about the match, what we're going to try to figure out Tuesday is why Sami Zayn did what he did. But go ahead and give your take on the ending of this.
I knew Shane. I didn't see the Sami Zayn thing happen. I really didn't.
No,
but then we noticed he's been kind of lurking in this storyline.
He has been kind of weird in this storyline.
in the storyline. Because he was telling Shane, like, come on, man,
you really should stop, man. Even though Kevin Owens has been ridiculing this man every time Sami and Kevin Owens come across, it's like, what have you done? You haven't done anything with your life.
Of all people to say, why would you say Kevin Owens?
Yeah.
Like, the person who's pretty much, as we know, outside of wrestling, they are like best of friends. So maybe he brings that into it, like, man, you've been my best friend. I couldn't see your career possibly end. And it could be a twist where Zayn is like, I can't let Shane end you because I want to be the one to do it. Oh. But I think maybe I don't see that happening though. I think that could be a far-fetched thing.
Maybe we have a new heel faction.
It could be.
That's what
it's
possible.
But so it was just like,
yeah, that
where
was
did that come from? And it was like he did it out of emotion because it wasn't like it was intentional.
Yeah,
because he was like shocked that he did it. It was like you noticed the look on Sami Zayn's face. He was just like he was breathing really hard, like I don't know what I just did, but I'm glad I did it. Like I can't believe it, but it was just like he was forced. Like he just had saw enough of what was going on. Like these guys are literally going to kill each other at this point. True. So I don't know if he did it intentionally to. I don't think him and Shane has had an issue.
Except for that last stint where he tried to warn him about Kevin Owens, and Shane was like, pretty much mind your business. Like this is my situation.
Then it makes you think because then he pulled him on top of it.
Yeah. So it made it seem like it was something deviant behind it.
Yeah. So it threw me off. I guess they'll clear it up tonight, but.
But you know what? You called this, though, in a sense, because you were saying, we were talking about the last couple of weeks on how they're misusing Sami Zayn, another NXT person. They should put him in the main card. And really, Kevin Owens is like as far main card without a belt as you're going to get right now. Mm-hmm. So for Sami Zayn to come into it, it might finally start giving Sami Zayn
something meaningful to do.
Right. So, you called that part.
Because he's too good of a talent not to use. But I was surprised they used this in a way because a lot of people saying the Sami Zayn heel turn. Yeah. So I don't know if it is. He'll have to explain it to me. I can't imagine him being a heel because he's so nice. He's so honest. He's just like that guy, that just honest guy that you know what you're gonna get every time. He's all about morals. He's all about doing things the right way, working hard, working his way up the chain. But it's just like now. I don't know. But overall, the match was okay. It was just some spots there I thought they could have. It was just kind of like they were just winging it at one point, doing certain things in the match. But overall, it was okay. But I still think the best match of the night was the Usos and New Day.
Definitely. So, if you don't remember last week, we did do some quick predictions on it. And I'm just going to try and review over all of the matches. Both of us did agree that Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin and possibly named American Beta was going to be victorious for the tag championship. Let me see where we're at. Yep, both of us did go with the Usos going to come out with the win on that. For the Randy Orton and Rusev, both of us did go for Rusev, but Randy Orton came out victorious. Like you said, I don't know what they're going to do with Rusev from now, and I don't see what they can do with Randy Orton. So, but that's both of us went against the actual outcome of that match. For the Natalya and Charlotte, D called that one. He definitely called Natalya maintaining it.
But really, you still win because Charlotte wins the match.
But if you don't have the belt, you lost to me. So you won that one.
Okay.
The triple threat match, both of us didn't see. Well, for one,
we didn't have it down.
You called the triple threat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I mean, technically we didn't really have that one called, but we kind of thought AJ was going to maintain, but Baron Corbin came out with the win. Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler, both of us called Bobby Roode. It didn't go how I wanted it to go at all. It was definitely a disappointing match, but we still both called it. And for the end match, I called Kevin Owens coming out with it because I really just felt like
if Shane hits that elbow,
if Shane hits the elbow, it's over. Yeah,
it might have took him a minute or two to pin him,
right? But he would
get to him. Shane was going to win.
Definitely going to win. But I mean, the fact of how if Sami Zayn didn't interfere, which was something neither one of us saw once again, then Shane McMahon would have won it. But I honestly felt like Shane had nothing to gain by winning this match except for just ego and McMahon pride. And this now can add on to Kevin Owens,
where does this go from here now?
But now it's like Kevin Owens.
You think Shane will be there tonight?
No.
I mean, given the fact that he just jumped off a tape. Well, he was there on Raw after he did it
with
Undertaker the next night.
Could. I mean, even if he is, maybe his sole purpose now would be to figure out what's Sami Zayn's purpose. So maybe we can get an answer to a whole bunch of questions. But now I think, of course, Kevin Owens, it doesn't seem like he's changing his character. So now he's going to be like, I beat you, Shane. You suck. I told you I was better than you. So now he's going to go on this ramp like he did it all himself. So and
that might make Zayn be like, you wouldn't have won that match if it wasn't for me. And that might cause
their feud.
Yeah, I was there to save you because Shane was going to.
Right. Shane was definitely going to end you. And then Kevin Owens would be like, this is why you're worthless. This is why you're not even relevant. And then finally,
you always have to step on my spotlight. And so it's gonna be something to make it about the person did something. Someone is always doing something to Kevin Owens.
So it could build into that feud now. It could continue the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn feud that we've seen since NXT when Kevin Owens turned on Sami Zayn. So that might be what this is built to. But I guess we'll find out, on SmackDown tonight.
We'll see. Out of 10, I always love to rate my shows out of 10. So, I wish you had a drum roll.
Right, I wish.
Sound effect, but we don't. But
we might have to try and find it.
We might can find one, though. So, out of 10, Hell in a Cell for me.
That's the best I got.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. That's actually high considering your reviews for wrestling the last couple of weeks.
And the only reason it was 6 out of 10, carrying the weight of it, was the New Day and the Usos.
Yeah.
What they did.
Totally agree.
That was the only thing that made me rate, because I can't bash them. Like, the start and the end of the show was good. Right. But everything middle-wise was just a wash for me. So it was just kind of like I can't take away from what they did. The show overall sucked, but what they did and kind of what and then now with the whole Sami Zayn thing and what Shane and some of the spots that Shane and KO had, I actually thought it was going to be a more brutal match than what it was.
Right.
I also noticed there were not a lot of chairs used in these matches of hardcore. Usually the chair always is the first weapon of choice most people get.
Yeah, we really just saw the chair, 2 times during the Usos and New Day match.
And then within Shane and Kevin Owens, we did.
No weapons, really. Well, no, we saw a table.
Yeah, and the trash can.
And the trash can.
But that's why I give it a 6 out of 10. And I think I'm being a little too generous on it because I started to go with a 4. But given the fact of what the Usos and New Day did and the show they put on, and then the whole thing of Shane jumping off the top and... I got
the new story mode, story now. So
I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Out of 10 for me, I want to give it an 8.
It's not an 8,
but it's once again I'm agreeing with you.
Definitely not an 8.
But all right,
and all they did in Nakamura, you cannot put that as an 8.
I will give it a 7. I gotta give it a 7.
It's not a 7. It's gotta be a 6 or lower.
I gotta give it a 7.
No, it's not a 7.
But listen why. Listen why. I understand. Now I understand.
Well,
the
if
bad
you're gonna
match.
give it a 7, I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna rescind my 6 and make it a 4 out of 10.
So be
4
it.
out of 10.
4 out of 10.
Yeah.
4 out of 10.
You just made me drop it down. I was trying to be generous to the athletes who competed in that structure.
But that's why I'm giving it a 7. I'm giving it a 7 because, like you said, the New Day Usos probably had one of the best matches of the year. First off, because of that match, that match was just incredible. It exceeded all of my wildest expectations for that match. So that for me, if I had to rate that match alone, I'm giving it a 6 out of 5, like a 6, like 11 out of 10. If
I got you. I get what you're saying.
And of course,
when you say 6 out of 5, first it's like,
yeah, I was like, okay, we're doing a 10, so yeah, 11 out of 10. So the Randy Orton Rusev match was something that could have stayed on SmackDown. The triple threat match for the U.S. Championship was okay.
Yeah, Styles and Dillinger carried that match most of the way.
The Charlotte Natalya match was a waste. The Nakamura gender match was another waste.
Mm-hmm.
The Bobby Roode Dolph Ziggler match
waste.
It's a waste. But
so you literally say it's a 7 out of 10.
But I'm still hyped over the Bobby Roode itself. Like, I'm still just hyped over Bobby Roode.
I'm hyped over him, but the crowd wasn't for this to be his first pay-per-view match.
I don't care about the crowd. I'm
just saying, it's your opinion. I know, but I'm just saying, for the first pay-per-view match on the big roster, it's like,
yeah, they definitely
a roll up.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. But like I said, my hype, and I think what will build between these two is going to be good because I feel like both of these are great wrestlers. So my enthusiasm for their future is still high for me. And the last match, just theirs was a good. Theirs weren't as great as New Day and Usos by a long shot, but something that Wrestle Talk TV on YouTube said that makes a lot of sense is between both of these matches being in the same exact structure, they found a way to make these matches feel completely different. And so, even though Shane and Kevin Owens was in the Hell in a Cell, just like the earlier match was, it was a totally different feeling. They went outside of the ring. They did everything that the New Day didn't do, and it was a pretty good match. I'm not even gonna say decent. It was a pretty good match. Especially, and what excites me now more, which helps add on to my 7 rating, is the fact now I'm left wondering because of the Sami Zayn. It's like, why did Sami Zayn do this? What is he becoming? Are Kevin Owens and them going to bond, or is it going to break them up even more? All this stuff now, and of course, Shane McMahon's not going to fight too many more anyway. So I just waiting to see him back in the backside of stuff. So that's why I'm giving it what I'm giving it. I'm sorry.
I think 7 is way too high. I think you should do 6. I would say, okay, I get you.
So if I say 6, you will put 6 too? If I say 6.
Say 6, I'll say 6.
All right, we'll keep it at 6.
No, I'm keep it at 4.
Well, I got to keep it at 7 then.
I'm going to keep it at 4. I just hate the way Nakamura's been buried, the way Rusev has been buried. They have no sense of direction of what they want to do with the United States title. It's like a hot potato title. This person has it one week. This person has it the next week. The women's championship match was trash. The only good match is the Mahal gender trash again. The only 2 things that really mattered to me tonight was Shane and Kevin and the Usos.
The Hell in a Cell matches.
Yeah, the Hell in a Cell matches at that point. And for this to be the 20th anniversary of the Hell in a Cell match, I think we should at least saw one more Hell in a Cell match. But there's really nobody else on the card that warrants a Hell in a Cell match. Don't do the U.S. title match in a Hell in a Cell.
I bet that would have been good, though.
It might have, or maybe a Rusev Orton, but that rivalry didn't get to that point to push them to a Hell in a Cell match. That's the only other one I possibly could have saw in a Hell in a Cell.
I actually would have expected the U.S. title more, just because of AJ Styles and Ty Dillinger. You would see them fly more with the Cell, and then Baron Corbin have his aggressiveness to push you into the Cell.
But Orton is the only one there Orton and Rusev's the only ones who have experience in the Cell.
But it still wouldn't be great. It would just be like a regular steel cage match. All they do is just throw you into the cage, rub your face into the cage a couple of times. That's it. It will be no different than putting them in a steel cage match.
But by being like I was saying, maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe you're right. Because the 20th anniversary, you got to do a little bit more for the Hell in a Cell. For it to be 20 years of it. But other than that, man, it was an okay show.
And despite my 7 rating, I still feel like the Shane and Kevin Owens match wouldn't have been as good if it wasn't in the Hell in a Cell.
Because at that point, like I said, you could have did it like it's just a false count anywhere, anything goes type match, and then the Cell just magically comes down.
Right.
That would have been more intriguing to me, and then everybody would have been like, oh, like the Cell is coming down and they're trapped in the ring, and maybe Kevin Owens trying to get out before the Cell closes on him or whatever, and then maybe Vince walks out and has a smirk or whatever on his face or something like or Stephanie, because remember Stephanie had came out when he first beat up Vince. Maybe she comes out and maybe she finds out she was behind making the Cell come down.
That would have been a good play.
So at that point, by it being false counts anywhere, or maybe have Vince come out and help him in the match. you know, or anything different.
I like your ideas.
To try to get some excitement about this.
Definitely.
But that officially is going to wrap up our Hell in a Cell review. Hope you guys enjoy it. Remember, tomorrow night, another installment of Sports Moves. We're going to break down everything from NFL Week 5. We're going to talk about some MLB playoffs, some college football, and some things that's going on in other sports. We're going to break down WWE as well, Monday Night Raw, the backlash of Smackdown Live. C. Moody, D. Moody.
We are Sports Moods.
2 Moodies.
1 duty.
Sports.
We'll see you this week.